My first Navy Federal pledged loan actually lowered my credit score by 8 points, but my second raised my credit score by over 100 points. And in today's video, I'm going to show you the exact things that I did different from my first pledge loan to my second pledge loan. This is something that I think is really important because Cameron inside of my private community, which if you guys are interested in joining the private credit hackers community, which I literally teach you how to get $260,000 in monthly funding at no personal risk to you. I also teach you how to literally wipe anything off of your credit report, and I also have free one-on-one access to me forever. It's a one-time purchase and you get access for that forever. So if that sounds interesting, make sure to check out the first link down below. Cameron actually went ahead and DM'd me from my private community, and he asked me if there's any specific tips and tricks that he should do for when he does his Navy Federal pledge loan, because part of the process to get that credit limit is actually doing a pledge loan, but that's explained inside. If you guys want a case study explaining how I did it for completely free, check out my case study guide down below. It'll be somewhere in the description. But there is some specific steps that I would highly recommend that you guys do, and I basically sent these exact same steps to him, so I'm kind of just going to read them out for this video. So if that does sound interesting, make sure you guys go ahead and watch all the way to the very end, as well as going ahead and consider subscribing to the channel, because I am literally out here on this channel giving you the best credit education on YouTube right now. I guarantee you, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars building my own credit, and I know for a fact that the value I'm giving on this channel is literally beyond anything that there is going to be on the rest of YouTube. And if you think otherwise, then go ahead, just go watch another generic video where they'll tell you to go get a secured credit card, and maybe after 5 years the bank might throw you $2,000. No. Here I'm going to teach you how to get 60K within 12 months. No questions asked. Actually, more like 6 months if you do it right. So what actually is a Navy Fed pledge loan? This is essentially when you guys take a set of money, which in my private community, I always recommend people to do the max that they can. So if you have $10,000 sitting in your bank account that you're not using, take out a $10,000 pledge loan now, which I'll explain the specific things that you're going to want to do with that near the end of the video. So make sure you go ahead and stick around. For my first pledge loan, I took out $5,000, and essentially what you do is that you give this money, whatever amount of money you can. Let's say it's even only $100. You give this $100 to Navy Federal, and then they loan you that money back. It essentially acts like a secured card. And the reason why you want to do this with Navy Federal instead of any other bank is because, number one, most banks don't offer it. I also banked with Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo didn't even offer a loan like this. I called them, they said nothing like this exists. And they also didn't even offer a secured credit card, so I couldn't even get that. Plus, the real reason why you guys want to go ahead and actually do this is because it's not really about raising your actual FICO score, but instead it's about raising your internal Navy Fed score. And we'll get into the specifics about that a little bit later. But what is a Navy Fed internal score? Essentially, every single financial institution, every single credit union, every single bank always has some kind of internal score for Navy Fed. It ranges from 0 to 450. It's essentially saying how good of a customer you are. So when you prove yourself to be a better customer, that score will increase. And when that score increases, better things are going to happen to you. Higher credit limits, better interest rates, more approval, and much more. So the reason why we want to take out a pledge loan with Navy Fed specifically is because right now Navy Fed is giving out some of the fattest credit limits for specific cards than any other credit union out there, because they are currently the largest credit union in America. So that's why you're going to want to go with them compared to maybe your local credit union. Plus, if you do it with Navy Fed instead of, let's say, a bank, like let's say hypothetically Wells Fargo actually allowed me to do a secured loan. If I take out that $5,000 loan that we talked about with how bad my credit was, I literally had a 4 credit score for a time. That's what Credit Karma told me. I had a 4 credit score, which is crazy. And then I did that secured loan, and let's say it increased my score to 580 because I still had a good number of infractions on my record. I guarantee you Wells Fargo would not have given me a secured card for more than $200 compared to Navy Fed, which when they gave me my card, they gave me an unsecured card for $500. I actually didn't even apply for it. They sent me an email offering the card for me after I paid off the first loan. But I said earlier, why did this loan lower my external FICO? So keep in mind, this loan did not lower my internal Navy Fed score, but it did not raise it as high as it could have. And the reason why is because I paid it off early. This is a massive reason why you guys should be in the credit hackers, because we're actually out here talking about the real things that nobody else on YouTube is talking about, or everybody on YouTube is getting wrong, like in this scenario. I paid 90% of this loan starting, and then after a couple months, I just flat out paid it off. This was wrong. And the reason why is because it shows up on your credit report that you paid off the loan, but it shows up on your credit report what the actual monthly reoccurring payment was. So if you take out a loan for $5,000 and you pay off $4,500 today, wow, good job. You get that $4,500 back that you would have gotten anyway. And now you only have a $10 a month payment. only that $10 a month payment gets reported on your credit, not the $4,500 initial payoff. So you guys got to keep that in mind, is that when you do a pledged loan, only that monthly reoccurring payment is what actually gets reported on your credit. So that's why my credit score was lowered, because number one, I paid off the loan early because I set a 3-year term length, and I paid it off in 3 months, which was a bad call. And number two, I paid off too much of it early, so I didn't accumulate enough interest. This is what I talked about being a good customer. You need to prove to these banks and financial institutions that you're willing to eat the elephant. You gotta prove that you're willing to accept a little bit of interest, and then in exchange, they will reward you greatly. And I paid 50 cents of interest, but if I actually up that to like $50 in interest on the loan, literally my credit score probably would have gone up by 100 points, which I know this because for my next Navy Fed loan, I took out a $10,000 pledge loan and I only did a 1-year long term. So essentially, I didn't do any kind of 90% payment. I only pay the minimums, which is about $1,000, and interest is accumulating. So I pay about $10 in interest a month, which means that at the end of the loan, I pay about $100 in interest total. What this means is that that monthly payment with that interest payment gets reported on my credit. Instead of just the $10, I now have a $1,000 payment reported on my credit, which is going to look far more attractive to any bank. Because think about it from the bank's POV. Do you want on your credit report the fact that you paid off a $10 loan or a $1,000 loan? To the bank or the credit union, this one is going to look a lot better than this one. So if you guys do plan on doing a Navy Fed pledge loan, I would highly recommend checking out my free case study down below, where I'll go ahead and show you exactly what I did and how I rebuilt my credit score from literally 4. I had missed payments, I had collections, I had closed accounts with unpaid debt, and how I literally wiped all that off. And then I rebuilt my score to 800 plus with a 60K personal credit limit and a $200,000 monthly business credit. Make sure to check that out. Also, make sure to check out my private community, the Credit Hackers, which I'll go ahead and teach you how to do all that. You can also connect with me directly, and you can connect with your fellow credit hackers, because every single one of us is looking to hack the credit system. So you got to make sure that you're real when you go ahead and join. But with that being said, guys, we have in fact at the end of the video. So if you did enjoy, make sure to go ahead and consider subscribing. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a good day.